Hind Deer Podcast. Marhaba, marhaba, marhaba. Yalla habibi. Mashallah habibti. Yalla.
You're saying if you have a media machine that purposefully lies to its people to maintain a political fiction and get themselves power, that is the hallmark of an authoritarian system, not a democratic system.
Absolutely.
Well, if we were ever to get something like that in the United States, we would be horrified, furious, to know that there was an entire media organization designed to bend reality, to manipulate facts, to maintain power.
All right, welcome to Hind Deer Podcast. And what the fuck is going on in America?
What the fuck is going on? There is an attack on free speech.
Yeah, this is crazy what's going on. I've never seen anything like this before. This is super scary. Yeah, we have Mahmoud Khalil. He was someone here on a green card. And he was arrested. He was arrested Monday, March 10th. And the point was that they were going to start revoking visas for students that were in the United States that were demonstrating against Israel or just protesting for Palestinian rights.
They have already revoked someone's visa, some Chinese student visa.
Yeah, but the issue is, so they got to this guy and they arrested him, and then they found out he had a green card, and a green card holder has more rights. And so now they're sort of bending reality. They're trying to bend the facts. They're trying to bend the law to fit their narrative. It's like watching a third world country. You ever seen a dictator try to justify everything in real time?
Mm-hmm. They don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, let me show you this.
They're fighting to be right now.
Here's J.D. Vance.
See,
a green card holder, even if I might like that green card holder, doesn't have an indefinite right to be in the United States of America, right? American citizens have different rights from people who have green cards, from people who have student visas. And so my attitude on this is, this is not fundamentally about free speech. And to me, yes, it's about national security, but it's also more importantly about who do we, as an American public, decide gets to join our national community? And if the Secretary of State and the President decide this person shouldn't be in America and they have no legal right to stay here, it's as simple as that.
Do you see more such deportations happening?
I think we'll certainly see some people who get deported on student visas if we determine that it's not in the best interest of the United States to have them in our country. So yeah, I don't know how high that number is going to be, but you're going to see more people.
Okay, that is called gaslighting.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fundamentally about freedom of speech. So Trump, he's being told what to do. He's being told who to hire, who to fire. Anyone who speaks out against Israel right now, he's trying to silence them. And it's really weird because I thought Trump was going to be like America first kind of guy. I thought he was going to have some...
Yeah, it disappointed me, to be honest. Like, I would never vote for him, but I would allow him to be president by not voting for Kamala. Anyway, but he disappointed me. He really disappointed me. I thought he was smarter than this.
You remember initially when Trump was elected, he contacted Netanyahu and said he wants the war to end by the time he gets in office. This was October 30th, 2024. And then later, on February 4th, Netanyahu came to the United States and had a meeting with Trump. And after that meeting, Trump said how he wants to take over Gaza. And the tone completely shifted. He completely backtracked on everything he said. And now he's supporting genocidal behavior, ethnic cleansing. So I just want to know, is Trump being blackmailed?
Probably, most likely, yeah.
I think Trump is being blackmailed.
Yeah, I mean...
to do these things. It's
they blackmail our leaders. It's not going to be a surprise if they blackmail Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it's let me show you this. So we have Trump was speaking with Hamas separately from direct talks with Israel, and where is it here?
Understand why Netanyahu, Dermer, others might be upset.
I do understand. I spoke with Ron, and I'm sympathetic. He has someone that he doesn't know well, making direct contact with Hamas. Maybe I would see them and say, look, they don't have horns growing out of their head. They're actually guys like us. They're pretty nice guys. So he doesn't know me, and there are big stakes. He lives in a country where if it sets certain precedents, then it will hurt or help a lot of other people. So I understand the consternation and the concern, and I wasn't upset. At the same time, we're the United States. We're not an agent of Israel. We have specific interests at play.
So would you believe it? That guy gave that talk on CNN, and he was fired that day.
Oh, wow. We
So-
are occupied.
And so here's even crazier. Like, I saw one person on X who was trying to justify it, saying that he shouldn't talk nice of Hamas, and because apparently that's not appropriate. Here's 5 times where Trump praised dictators, just so you know that praising the the perceived enemy is actually something that Trump has said is one of his strategies.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator, okay?
That sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president. All right.
You know, I was very honored as a man. Viktor Orban, anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. And he's the leader of, right? He's the leader of Turkey. President Xi is like central casting. There's nobody in Hollywood that can play the role of President Xi. The look, the strength, the voice. It's good to have a good relationship with Putin and Xi and all these people. They have lots of nuclear weapons. And Kim Jong-un I had a good relationship with. He's a tough, smart guy. He's strong like granite. He's strong. I know him very well. President Xi of China. And he's standing there. He's a fierce person. He runs 1.4 billion people with an iron hand. And they say, oh, he said good things about him. No, he happens to be a very smart person. If I say a certain leader is smart, that's controlling a big part of the world, the press gets upset that I say smart because that's a good thing. No, very smart people. These are very smart people, but they're dealing with very stupid people. Even Vladimir Putin. Has anybody ever heard of Vladimir Putin? Of Russia says that Biden's, and this is a quote, politically motivated persecution of his political rival is very good for Russia because it shows the rottenness of the American political system, which cannot pretend to teach others about democracy.
Yeah. So anyways, it's good to have a good relationship with your enemies. That's what I think. That was not verbatim, but that was pretty close to what Trump said. It's good to have a good relationship with your enemies, unless your enemies are Hamas or a group supporting Palestinian rights. What do you think?
I think that shows up, that comes across as weak, as afraid of Hamas.
Yeah.
That comes across as not only afraid of Hamas, afraid of the truth of the suffering of Palestinian people. That's what this comes across. When you're like scared of a terrorist organization that has no power, you come across as weak and afraid. So that's what it comes across. That's what I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of smear campaigns. So then they started smearing this guy as soon as they realized that he had a green card and that he didn't break any laws. You know that he was not charged with a crime. He was arrested and not charged with a crime. Do you know that in the United States, that's not the norm? That's not something normal here.
That's like a third world country.
Do you know that every country has something they're known for? The United States is known for its freedom. Have you ever heard of American freedom?
I mean, that's what I thought I came here for.
Okay. So that's what we're known for. That's kind of our thing,
But
you know?
it looks like I don't have those freedoms anymore.
It looks like they're trying to take them away.
It's scary, Like, I thought I came here from a third world country to a free country for freedom, and then they scared the shit out of me to say anything, I can't say everything I think.
Yeah, we're going to dark times. So I thought Trump wanted to put America first, but Trump is endangering the United States. He's endangering like our social fabric by trying to take away our fundamental rights. Everyone here is protected under the Constitution. I don't know if people that say otherwise have probably never thought through a social studies class. I mean, the way the law works is Constitution, state, county, city, township. Those are like the jurisdiction. People have constitutional protections, even if they're not U.S. citizens. If they're in the United States, they have constitutional protections. They can't vote, but they can own guns.
Do you have the video of the arrest?
I don't have that video.
What's interesting about that video is that people with normal clothes came to his apartment and arrested him with a regular car. They're not dressed in ICE. They look like a gang, if I was his wife, I would think that this is a gang taking my husband. And she was so scared and intimidated. Let me see if I can find that video.
Yeah, so I think that the problem is too, I mean, they thought that this guy was just here on a student visa and they were going to revoke his visa and send him back home, and then it turned into a firestorm. And he's being represented now by the American Civil Liberties Union. He's got, I think, around 19 lawyers representing him. And this is, again, fundamentally, this is about freedom of speech. It's not about anything else. They're trying to say that his views are incompatible with American foreign policy. That's not even plausible. I mean, American foreign policy is not Israeli foreign policy. Our foreign policy should be peace and justice around the world. Let's take a look at this clip.
So turn around. Okay, let's not. Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone, okay? He's not, I understand. He's not resisting.
There's no use for this.
Don't worry about it.
You're going to have to come with us. Don't worry. I'm coming with you. Don't worry.
No one's resisting. No one's getting worked up.
You guys really don't need to be doing all of that. حبيبي كيف بدي أتصل فيك؟
Look what they're wearing.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean, that's not uncommon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Normal people will show up at your place claiming they're government and arresting you?
Yeah, like undercover or something. It's not unheard of.
Okay, let's keep watching.
Okay.
Amy, call Amy.
Okay. Hi, Amy. Yeah, they just like handcuffed him and took him. I don't know what to do. Okay. What should I do? I don't know. Noor. Let me ask. Can we get a name, please? Can we get your name? I understand the lawyer is asking for your name.
Over there. No, we don't give our names.
The lawyer's asking for your name. He's saying they don't give their names.
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll be taken to immigration custody at 26 Federal.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
We'll be taken to immigration custody at 26 Federal Plaza.
She said they're taking him to 26 Federal Plaza. Can you please specify what agency is taking him, please? Excuse me. They're not talking to me. I don't know.
Like they look like terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I remembered watching this?
What?
Hamas terrorists going into Israel arresting people.
Yeah.
They looked exactly like them. Like people who are there
Political prisoners?
To take political prisoners.
You know who Ben Shapiro is?
A Jewish
Daily Wire. He's the owner of the Daily Wire.
Jewish.
He's not. Anyways, he likes to sit.
He supports terrorism in the Middle East. That's what I know about him.
Ben Shapiro does support terrorism in the Middle East. That's a fact. He supports terrorism when it's conducted through the United States and Israel. But he likes to sit on his just podcast and tell Americans how they should join the military and go and die for Israel, or how people should go and die to fight Russia. He likes to tell Americans how they should suffer and go without. He loves to talk about things like how America's healthcare system is perfect, and you never hear him say anything about Israel's socialized medicine. He's manipulative. He's a dishonest person. And I think, honestly, at the core, he's very anti-American. But you want to know what he says about free speech?
What?
Let's take a look.
All right.
Let me suggest that as a legislature, your chief job is to ensure that my taxpayer dollars in this state go toward making sure that people like me and people with whom I disagree get to speak in places like college campuses, and not toward regulating what speech you find good and what speech you find bad, because it's a really dangerous business, and there's speech I don't like, there's speech you don't like. But if we can't agree that there is a difference between speech and violence, we're not going to be able to have a free state, let alone a free country. Thanks.
Well, I mean, he was 100% right that if you can't allow free speech, you're not going to have a state or a country anymore. But the problem is, that was back when free speech fit his narrative, and now free speech doesn't fit his narrative. So that was back during, I think, maybe Black Lives Matter protests or whatever, where he wasn't allowed to go and speak on a college campus, and that was him talking to Congress or the U.S. government. But he was in favor of free speech at the time because being in favor of free speech fit his narrative. It was 100% manipulation and lies.
I would like to see see what he says now. I like what he said back then. It applies to today, you know? There shouldn't be a war on free speech. My tax dollars should go to people being able to argue different points of view. But you know what? Free speech has been under attack also during COVID times. The doctors that were anti-vaccine were silenced, were censored and silenced. There was an organized effort to take their licenses away, and really crazy shit happened just because the state or like the government doesn't agree with them, or the vaccine manufacturers who have a big influence on the government with money don't agree with them.
You know really what's going on right now?
What?
I'll tell you exactly what's going on. In America, we learn a glamorized lesson of our own history in which the brave fight back against injustice. This goes back to the American Revolution with how oppressed we were by the British. In our history, the underdog always wins. You have people like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, etc. Maybe like an outsider looks at what they would call the woke crowd, the transgender rights crowd, and they might see people trying to bend reality or people living in a bent reality. They don't really understand what's going on. The truth is that these kids have been primed since childhood. They've been taught that they can find self-worth by standing together in a fight against adversity. So they know that, especially in the West, from a Western perspective, good will always triumph over evil. In the United States, most civil rights have been achieved. You know, it's a progressive society. It's a good place to live, especially if you're at a disadvantage for ethnicity or gender or anything that could be perceived as a protected class. So you have all these young, charged up people wanting to fight for something, and they can't identify what they should be fighting for. And now, ever since October 7th, I knew exactly what would happen. I knew that Israel would respond so aggressively that they would expose themselves as a genocidal apartheid state, that they would erode that barrier that kept people silent. Most people knew. I would say a good proportion of the people in the United States knew about things going on in Israel, but they didn't know in as much detail as they know now. But people were really bullied if they wanted to say anything. So most people didn't say anything, but most people that knew what was going on thought, wow, that's too bad. I hope that people there experience justice at some point. I hope Palestinians have a better opportunity at some point. But through the attack on Gaza, through what they're doing to the West Bank, they've exposed themselves. And now you have all these people, all these young kids that want to fight for a cause, that want to fight for justice. Now they have an issue. And the reason they arrested Mahmoud Khalil is because he was a leader of student protests. They know that change is going to come, and it's going to come from these Ivy League college students.
Yeah.
So these are the future leaders of the world, not just America. I mean, this is Colombia.
But, given that these people are primed to believe in a cause, don't you think that they're
primed to fight for a cause?
Fight for a cause. Don't you also think that they understand how much this cause is affecting them and their tax dollars and their country in general? Like, don't you think they've realized that how much they've been used and exploited?
Yeah.
In addition, other peoples on the other part of the world are suffering drastically. Like, it's not about Palestinians anymore. It's about Americans who are funding this genocide unwillingly because they're being manipulated. Their money is being taken away manipulatively. I don't know if that term is correct.
Let me show you this. So at Harvard Law School, 73% of the student body voted to divest from Israel. So you see, like, this is backfiring on them.
Divest?
Stop working with or stop not having financial ties.
But you see, these universities, their biggest donors are people who support Israel. So
no, not all of them.
A lot of their donors are. And
yeah.
They threaten. Like, if a donor is a millionaire or a billionaire who donates to that college, and all of a sudden that donor threatens, if you guys stand against Israel, I will stop my donations. You know, that's a lot of money.
Oh, 100%. Mahmoud Khalil was arrested because the dark money donor class wanted him arrested.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was influential, and they're trying to go after more influential people. Again, this is 100%.
And they're coming after the immigrants, too. They're coming after the people that cannot defend themselves. They know they cannot come after citizens. So, hey, let's find an immigrant that is involved in this and make them an example to intimidate others. But you know what? Today it's him. Tomorrow it's going to be a citizen who was naturalized, and they will justify it. That citizen is not born here. Therefore, he or she is not a real citizen. We can revoke their citizenship and deport them back to their home country. Don't you think that's going to happen? It happens in my country. It happens in in the third world, you know, it happens in where I come from, in my country of birth, the UAE. It happens in Iraq, it happens in Kuwait, Egypt, all these countries.
I mean, well, except here, there's people here that
For
are...
citizens, you know?
Here, people here are not afraid to fight for justice. They're not afraid to fight back. And you're going to have a lot of people. It's a big country. And, you know, you can only blindly follow someone for so long. I mean, you could be a Trump supporter all day long, but if you blindly support this, you're a blind follower. You're a weak, feeble-minded imbecile. You are...
What was that last word you said?
A weak, feeble-minded imbecile.
Imbecile, what does that mean?
Oh, idiot.
Idiot, okay.
Yeah. If you are anti-freedom, you are by default anti-American. So everybody that supports the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil for some reactionary lie that the Trump administration is saying, you are anti-American. So the Bill of Rights applies to everybody.
Let's read it. Nowhere in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution is the word citizen. Often it is written the right of the people. The Bill of Rights protects everyone, including undocumented immigrants, to exercise free speech, religion, assembly, and to be free from unlawful government interference. Wow, that's your ancestors knew what they were doing. Your founding fathers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very proud of founding fathers. They're yelling in their graves right now. They're like, no, don't do this to America that we founded. This is not the America that we founded. They're like yelling in their graves. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe. You know Grok? It's Elon's AI baby project.
Okay. I thought Tesla was Elon's baby.
He's got several. SpaceX.
Several babies.
Yeah.
And Trump is supportive of all his babies. What about Grok?
Yeah, so anyways, Grok, if you just want to like just find the obvious thing. So for example, let me give you a really good example of just mind-dumbingly cognitive dissonant. In the Middle East, I'm gonna piss some people off here, but I'm telling you the truth, and this is a perfect example, okay? The people that mindlessly just follow and do what they're told. The sheeple, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can Google it right now. Look up and see, does the Quran specifically say you must wear a hijab? I'm an outsider looking in. I have no dog in this fight. But does the Quran specifically say that you must wear a hijab?
No.
No. You can Google it right now.
Yeah. Plus, you can read the Quran. You can read the verses that talk about supposedly hijab, what hijabists claim. It's these verses. You can read them. You can interpret them any other way, you know? It's not clearly stating that this is obligatory and mandatory upon all women. It doesn't say that.
Okay, but if you say that to a bunch of hijabi Muslims, what's the reaction?
You're wrong. The Quran says you gotta wear
the hijab. They will say the Quran says every single time.
Yeah.
None of them learn this on their own. They're just saying what they've been told. That's basically brainwashing.
I was told that too.
Yeah.
When I was like a 12-year-old, I was told that God wants us to wear the hijab, and if we don't, we're gonna be punished. And then I was so scared to be punished, and I wore it.
All right, so here's some questions we asked Grok. Grok, are non-citizens in the United States allowed to have freedom of speech? One word only. Grok says yes.
You've been asking Grok on my behalf. I hope not. I hope we don't turn into a third world country. My words to the Americans, my fellow Americans. Please, people, fight for your freedom, because you have no idea where I came from. It's a dark place. It's not in the control of the people. It got out of control because of suppressing of free speech. And we come here for free speech, so we're not willing to compromise that either. I'm going to find another land that has free speech if this land turns into what I came from, you know? Let's read that.
All right, Grok, are non-citizens in the United States constitutionally protected? One word only. Grok says yes. So yeah, you grew up in a place that was much more repressed. You feel like America's backsliding into that right now?
Of course, yeah. And also there are people who are blindly following the leader. There are people here blindly following Trump and thinking he's right on everything. These people exist in where I was born, in the UAE, blindly following the leader. And what happens right now in the UAE, they're taking political prisoners, citizens and non-citizens, putting them in jail, not only putting them in jail, torturing them and disappearing them. And they disappear and you don't know about them. You don't know anything about them. That's what happens when you have full loyalty to one person.
I got another one for you. So have you ever heard the term activist judge?
Not really.
In the United States, people like to say an activist judge. An activist judge is someone that basically ruled against what they want the outcome to be. But in reality, an activist judge would be somebody that that legislates from the bench. So basically rewrites the law. I'll give you a perfect example. Roe v. Wade, the law that legalized abortion in the United States. That was legislation from the bench. That's an actual example of a judge legislating from the bench. However, when a judge follows precedent, when a judge follows stare decisis, that is not activism, okay? So a federal judge intervened with Mahmoud and made an order that he can't be deported. And people are now saying that this is an activist judge. To the contrary, this is not an activist judge. This is a judge following legal precedent. So let's ask Grok. Okay, Grok, is Trump committing a crime by deporting Mahmoud Khalil if a judge blocks the order? One word only. Grok says yes. So that was Elon's AI.
Elon's baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how. I don't know. I think that some people, they just want to be part of a movement. They just want to be part of something. So I see a lot of people just blindly support Trump. Now, you know, like the dumb ones. You know, people when they're younger and they say stupid things, when they sound like a bumper sticker. You know they're simple people. And you're going to have lots of simple people everywhere you go. All the simple people are the loud, obnoxious ones that have no point and they can't be told anything. They can't learn anything. They can't learn from you. And if they can't learn from you, you cannot learn from them because they cannot teach you something if they cannot learn. They can only be a bumper sticker. They are cannon fodder in a political movement. They're pawns to be moved around at an intellectual's leisure. All right, let's see what's next.
What's next? How many questions did you ask AI on my behalf?
Grok?
Yeah.
About 10 or so.
Okay.
Okay, so the next part two is with Mahmoud Khalil. Now they're saying that he's pro-Palestinian activity. First of all, that's not a crime. It's not even supporting Hamas, but if he were to support Hamas, if he's not sending them money, he's allowed to support Hamas. There's no rule against that. There are plenty of people in the United States that support Palestinians.
Can you support Hitler in America? Just a question.
100%. Yeah, you see it all the time.
Yeah? Can you support Saddam Hussein in
Yes.
America? Can you support North Korea president?
Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you support
Trump loves him.
the Russian president?
Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
Yes.
Then why can't you support Hamas?
So you actually can support Hamas. They're lying. They're manipulating the
Can
law.
you support Afghanistan, Taliban,
Yes.
and Al Qaeda? Can you support ISIS?
Yeah. You just can't go and join ISIS.
Okay, so you
Can't send them money.
you have a right to support a terrorist organization in the United States. Speech.
Yeah, not
Speech.
yeah.
Okay.
Not financially, but with speech.
So
Yeah.
you have a right to say whatever you want, to be an asshole, to point at an asshole and say he's a good guy. You have a right to do that in America.
Yeah. So here's what Elon Musk AI said about this.
All right.
Grok is supporting Hamas in principle, protected speech. One word only. Grok says yes. That's a fact. It's not even a crime. This guy didn't do anything wrong. And people were also saying that he was handing out flyers with Hamas's logo. I mean, they're reaching so low. And they're trying everything they can do to intimidate and silence people. But this is all it is intimidation and silencing people. There's no merit. There's no justice. There's no morality in what they're doing.
Yeah.
I wonder what Grok said.
It's disgusting what they're doing.
Yeah. Hey, Grok, are Americans in danger from Trump's presidency? One word only.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Oh, man, Elon.
I bet Grog read all the articles by the Democrats, the ones that are saying now, told you so. We told you Trump is going to be that bad, but you didn't believe us. I bet Grog read all of them and analyzed them.
Do you remember when Trump was going through all his trials and everything, and they were saying political prisoners or January 6th? Some people broke the law that day, and some people...
He wants to pardon these political prisoners.
He did pardon them.
He did, okay.
But you remember them talking about weaponizing government to go after political prisoners. And of course, when Trump was first elected, he already did go after some political prisoners. But let's take it a step further. Trump, or Grok, is Trump making political arrests? One word only. Yes. Elon?
These are some very damn shit smart questions that you thought of asking Grok.
Hi, Grok. Is Trump putting Israel first and America second? One word only. Yes.
Yes, we're occupied.
So
there it is. We're occupied.
Yeah, we're just repeating what AI tells us through.
Can you ask Grok, are we occupied? Are we an occupied
I didn't
nation?
ask him that right now, but we can later.
Okay.
Let's see another one.
Go ahead.
Grok. Should Americans be worried over Trump? One word only.
Yes.
Elon Musk, that was not very nice of you. You should apologize to Trump and give him a free Tesla.
Trump bought your Tesla. He's so supportive of you. You should be so supportive of him as well.
All right. No, this is just obvious. But hey, Grok, did Trump arrest Mahmoud Khalil to appease Israel? One word only. Yes.
Fuck you, Trump.
Jesus Christ. I'm so disappointed in Trump.
I thought he would be better. I literally thought that. I'm so disappointed at him.
You can't get away. Hey, Grok, is Trump a threat to the entire world? One word only. Yes. Jesus Christ.
I still think Trump is blackmailed, though.
I 100% think Trump is being blackmailed. I mean, I think they all blackmail each other, but I think Trump is definitely being blackmailed by Netanyahu.
You know what I think, too? He's being blackmailed with pictures of his wife.
I don't think he would care about that.
Don't you think Trump listens to his wife?
No, I don't think he listens to his wife.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they have like a contract and contractual arrangement. Maybe he listens to her a little bit, but I don't think what she thinks matters that much.
Don't you think she got really mad when he let Russia put her pictures, her nude pictures? Don't you think she talked to him about it? Or, threatened to leave or something? I don't know.
But I think that it sounds like in the news that people sort of admit this, but there's not hard facts on it. But I think that Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were really close friends for a long period. Even right before the election, someone released an audio recording of Epstein talking about Trump and how much sway he has over Trump. There's a lot there beneath the surface that we don't know. Mm-hmm. And I had honestly hoped that Trump got away with so much. You know, most people would say they want Trump to be president, although they don't think he's necessarily the best person, but he's a strong leader. But the guy he's like Teflon, nothing could stick to him. He got away with everything. So what did he do that was so bad that now he's being blackmailed?
Probably some sex tapes.
I mean, again, who cares? Unless he's like literally cannibalizing toddlers. What is so bad?
Or like sex tapes with underage girls.
I think too, they probably played to his ego, like, oh, Trump, you know, you're gonna help us rebuild Gaza, and everyone's gonna love it because you're so good at real estate. And they played on his ego.
Is that stupid?
I don't know, but that's what Putin did. Putin told Trump about how Ukraine has all these resources and everything, and that then Trump went to Ukraine and said, oh, you guys need to give us half your rights to your minerals and deposits, and you got to sign this contract for us to help you. And it was just obvious. The timeline is obvious, you know? Like,
that's why he didn't help them, because they said no?
Basically, yeah. Zelensky came to D.C., and I think he was going to sign that contract, and then he didn't. And then that's when they had that meeting in front of everyone, in front of the world, where...
To humiliate him.
Yeah, where J.D. Vance told him to...
Say thank you.
Say thank you. Yeah. Beg, you little bitch. And then, so...
It's going to be interesting times when J.D. Vance becomes president.
I don't know. But yeah, so then you also have people trying to say that there's this wave of anti-Semitism. And I don't know. I grew up in the United States. I've never met a single person that hates Jewish people. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Like, to be honest, in the Arab community, people even hate Jews, or are they just mad at Israel?
They don't care. They don't care what religion they are. They're mad at Israel.
Yeah.
They hate the Jews that kill Palestinians. Not because they're Jews, because they kill Palestinians. I've never seen some Arab saying, oh, I hate the Jews because they are Jews.
Yeah. And I know that too, like a lot of Jewish people are losing their minds right now because they think that everyone is against them. And I do have a theory. I call it the spoiled prince theory. So in the United States, you could never criticize Israel. And if you did, you would get attacked. You would get swarmed. And people would say you're anti-Semitic. And it would never stop. People would ruin your career. But there's so much injustice going on over there. And finally, after, 30,000 kids being shot in the face, someone decided to just say enough is enough. So now they're being called anti-Semitic. But no one ever talked bad about them. And so if you're from this perspective, if you're like a child who's never told no, if you're a child who gets to do whatever they want, gets to take any toy they want, gets to take a toy out of every other child's hand, and the first time someone comes to you and says no,
you're gonna throw a really bad tantrum.
You're gonna lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
So like right now, I think a lot of Jewish people are just going bananas because no one's ever been allowed to say anything bad about them, and so they can't take any criticism. They don't know how to absorb the criticism.
But what's interesting is that some of them are standing with Palestine. I don't know what percentage, but it would be really interesting to know how much of them are the supporters of Palestine. They said no to the injustice. You can't, in my name, as a Jew, kill other people. You know, there are the protests. I've been to DC and I saw Jews there. I was not organizing these protests.
Yeah.
But I watched them.
Looks like Nirob is on. Hey, Nirob.
Oh, Nirob. Hi, Nirob. How are you?
Yeah. So, and again, the media is trying to hide that. So there's a lot of people that are protesting the injustice against Palestinians, not protesting Jews who are Jewish. And the media is hiding that fact. This isn't Trump Tower.
They're saying free Mahmoud.
So this says anti-Israel protesters flood Trump Tower, rallying for release of Mahmoud. So what they don't want to tell you is that the name of this organization was Jews for Peace or something like that.
Oh.
So this is a Jewish group.
Yeah.
And the media is trying to hide that. The Jews for Peace.
Wow.
There's let's see how some different news places covered it. Hold on.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue.
And you know what?
From Fox Newsroom, I do just want to turn up the audio for a moment to see what we can hear before I read you the details.
There, it said Jewish group on that one.
Oh, it says Jewish group.
That one did, yeah. Show some other
Yeah,
ones.
there's a lot of Jews that are against this type of injustice. Actually, I watched an interview of a person of ultra-Orthodox Jews. Their name is Naturi Karta. And he said it's forbidden for them to do what they're doing in Palestine. It's against their religion to do that, which is very interesting.
But I mean, like, look at this. Like, so they're basically trying to say that they want you to think that Palestinians are the bad guy. They want you to blindly support the genocide. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to have any rational thought. I mean, it's so bad. Look what Trump called Schumer. This is now the Goyim are telling Jews they're no longer Jewish.
And Schumer is a Palestinian as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's become a Palestinian. He used to be Jewish. He's not Jewish anymore. He's a Palestinian.
Hind, you're no longer a Semite. How do you like that?
My DNA reads Semite.
It's invalid now.
It's what?
It's now invalid.
Invalid?
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot fake a DNA test. It's always gonna, always when you take my DNA, result will always come back Semite. What are you talking about? And I speak Arabic as a first language. That's crazy when you are the Goyim and you're telling the Jews that they're not a Jew.
Yeah, here's some more stuff from the Trump Tower.
All right.
Since you have refused to leave the premises, you are now subject to arrest. If you do not accompany the arresting officer voluntarily to the prisoner transport vehicle, or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes.
So anyways, a lot of these people are putting a lot on the line, but they're being smeared. They're being told that they're not Jewish because they don't support genocide.
That's crazy.
Yes, so crazy.
Craziest times ever in my life.
Yeah, so it's definitely nuts.
I'm telling you, you're not white. You're not European.
Yeah?
You're not European.
Right, I'm no longer European.
I mean, you're not of European descent.
No, I'm not. I'm no longer Basque and French and British.
You're an American. What if I tell you you're not an American?
Yeah, I'm not an American because you don't support genocide.
Yeah.
You don't support genocide. You are anti-American.
Yeah. You know what? It's good to see Jewish people taking action. I encourage Jewish people and American people to take action on this. This is very important for your future. I'm coming from a desperate place saying that to you. Don't turn your country into my country. It's not worth it. Be brave. You have a right to fight. You have a right to protest. For me, as an immigrant, maybe my freedoms right now are restricted a little bit, but you have freedom to do that. You are Americans. So what are you waiting for? Go join these protests. Free Mahmoud Khalil, because if he's not free, more and more people like him will be deported, and not only green card holders will be deported, naturalized citizens will be deported, and that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, this is a test case.
That's a test.
They're eroding
Testing
civil
the water.
rights. This is to erode civil rights. They go after one where there's sort of a gray area. Then they go after one where it's a little less obscure, and it just goes up the ladder until they silence all political opposition.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you. So on the other side, some Jewish people or pro-Israeli people are just going nuts. Do you see the one where the
he tried shooting them from the back of their car? Bullet went through right next to him, right next to his ear, because he was the driver, and he was holding his dad's head because he thought the dad got shot in the head.
Surveillance video shows the men trying to get help from a nearby business. The suspect was quickly arrested. In the arrest form, it says Brafman told detectives he saw two Palestinians and shot and killed both. The victims and the suspect did not know one another. Father and son say it was a miracle neither were seriously hurt.
This was This was a Jewish guy that saw two Israelis, I think it was in Florida, and he took a gun out and shot them. And when the police showed up, he said, I just killed two Palestinians. He shot two Israelis. And so he told the police that he was hunting Palestinians. You know, it's Palestinian hunting season. And the Israelis that got shot said, this guy shot us because we're Jewish. So they're like, they're going nuts right now.
He's an Arab. The guy who shot them is an Arab.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Crazy.
Let me show you like other ones too. People are just going nuts right now. Here's a Jewish guy. Look at this one. Look at this. This is a Jewish guy that's spray painting a swastika to make fake hate crimes. So that's how bad that's how bad it is for some people. That the reality is that all this talk about anti-Semitism, it's a straw man. It's not really there. To the point that people that really want it to be true have to bend reality. They have to make stuff up by going out and committing their own hate crimes so that they can feel like they're threatened, so they can silence people over standing for peace in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. Here's a good one too. Watch this one.
Yes, they're right in front of me right now. They're holding signs. This person is not in my flag. I need funds, genocide. I need help. I know that, but they're surrounding me. They won't let me move.
No, you are free to move. You are free to move. She's free to move.
You are free to move.
She's free to move. She's free to leave. She is free to leave. No one is surrounding her.
Nobody is surrounding you.
She is free to leave.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's psycho.
There's so many more. Hold on. Let me watch this one.
From the river to the sea. Leave me alone. Don't hurt me. Palestine will be free. Don't hurt me. From the river to the sea. Don't hurt me. This is so fucking hilarious, dude. Don't hurt me. Don't hit me. Please don't hit me. Please don't hit me. You're free to walk away. You are free to walk away. We have an actor here. I'm free to walk away. Get up and walk away right now. Don't help me. Occupation is a crime.
Yeah, so isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know.
Crazy shit.
I don't know. Does he really believe he's under assault, or is he thinking that he's going to make it appear like he's being attacked and law enforcement will come in and arrest the people that are saying things that he doesn't like?
These people still think that Americans are still manipulatable into that. Because they got away with manipulating the American public all these years. American public who did not know their reality until now. So they are shocked and they think that they can still manipulate the Americans.
I mean, here's one. This is from Australia. In Australia, they actually found that there were people being hired by Israeli interests groups to commit hate crimes.
Investigation of anti-Semitic attacks across Australia. The Australian Federal Police now investigating the possibility that some of the perpetrators may have been paid by foreign actors to commit hate crimes.
In Camperdown, a 33-year-old man is arrested over an alleged attempt to burn down a synagogue in Sydney's...
People are losing their mind because people aren't being more racist, more aggressive. And they want that because they want to justify oppression, justify you losing your rights. They want to justify you no longer being allowed to say your opinion to protect them.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? I still have hope in the Jewish people because of all of these people who are standing for the right thing. I remember when ISIS took over in Iraq and Syria, we were against them as Muslims. We were like, this is not me, not in my name, not on my hands. And it's so powerful when I saw these Jewish people in DC having posters that say, not in my name, you know? Mm-hmm. So I still have hope in the Jewish community. I think it's a religion of God. It's the same origin of my religion, Abrahamic religion. And Abraham came with the right message from God.
Father Abraham had many sons had Father Abraham.
Anyway. Yeah. I still have hope that they get loud on that. They get loud on like protecting freedom of speech.
So they
get loud on like, this is not in my name.
That's what they don't quite realize. These people that are trying to silence everyone, they don't understand how loud people are about to get. The whole world is turning against them. Look at here's a reporter at the World Cup in Qatar.
This?
Yes.
Blame it on
For
the
Israel.
computer.
What you?
No.
Yeah. Why? Arabic.
Which channel is this?
Israel channel. You don't like us? We are from Israel. Israel. Yeah. Hey, new friends. What? We have peace. Israel, no Palestinian. Israel, no Palestinian. But we have peace, Peace. You sign peace. You sign peace. You sign peace. You signed on the peace agreement.
You are not welcome here. Even if this is Qatar, this is our country. You are not welcome here. There is only Palestine. There is no Israel.
This stuff is happening all over the world. You can go on social media. You can see clips like this from Thailand. You can see clips like this from Ireland. Everywhere you see this kind of stuff happening right now.
Mm-hmm. That was back in 2022, by the way. The clips you just played.
Oh, yeah?
In the World Cup. But, the truth is, people in the Middle East know the Israeli reality a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of videos of adults shooting and murdering children. And every single video you can find over the last 20 years is of IDF shooting Palestinian children and murdering them. This is gruesome. And the fact they just look at Palestinians like they're cockroaches. They don't even see them as human beings.
You know what made me pro-Palestine? I was 9 years old and I saw a child being murdered on the news. His name is Muhammad Durra. And I was ruined as a 9-year-old. I was like, woke up to the fact that children are being murdered in Palestine. That what made me want justice for these people.
Have you ever seen the videos where they're taking Palestinian kids and smashing their arms and legs with rocks to break their arms and limbs?
No, but I've seen a Palestinian child who was shot in the knee here in America. Heal Palestine brought him here to treat him, but he was shot in the knee and in the penis. And he told me that happens to a lot of kids in the West Bank.
Yeah.
It just happens all the time.
Yeah, that's called genocide. Where you're trying to
shoot the penis so they don't reproduce and shoot the knee so they don't join the army.
Yeah, so, yes, crazy. So anyways, when you're doing stuff this corrupt and this evil, you got to distract people. And I know, from an outsider, you guys see things like trans people and all this other stuff. You don't understand that it's just a passing phase, that it's a distraction. And right now, Trump is doing all these things against trans rights and
woke.
Against woke and DEI. It's just a big fucking distraction, and it's so fucking stupid. But it keeps people busy. It keeps them unbalanced with so many weird things happening. Look at this one. This is Arlington National Cemetery. Trump has made it no more DEI. So on the website, you can no longer find famous Black, Hispanic, or women veterans. So the Arlington National Cemetery is where a lot of U.S. soldiers are buried. So they've made it less DEI. But the whole point of DEI was inclusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the argument against DEI is that America's already achieved social progress.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer need to do this. We've advanced beyond that, right?
Yes.
Okay, this cemetery is an example of social progression before DEI. This cemetery represents the entire argument against DEI, but they still want to get rid of it because the people that follow these stupid bumper sticker slogans, they're so numb in their brains that they see this and think, oh yeah, that's DEI, when it's like the exact opposite,
Mm-hmm.
Find some more. Oh, I got some more ones. Let me show you this. A teacher in the U.S.
A West Ada school district teacher is being told to remove 2 signs of inclusion from her middle school classroom because the school district says they violate policy.
And now she's sharing her story. Brian Holmes talked to her about what happened.
My building administration came to me during my lunch period and told me that they needed to be taken down by the end of the day. They told me that they were in violation of district policy because in today's political environment, they're considered a personal opinion.
Did they say somebody complained about them?
No. I asked if anyone had complained about them, and they said, no, we just want to protect you from that if that were to happen.
In this political environment?
Mm-hmm.
That is not acceptable.
Yeah, I was told a couple things. That everyone is welcome here is not something that everybody believes. So that's what makes it a personal opinion.
You were told this?
Mm-hmm.
That not everybody believes everyone is welcome?
Right.
Okay. And who told you this? Who was the one saying that not everyone believes this?
My building administration and district personnel.
Face to face, they told you this?
Mm-hmm.
What was your response to that?
Because I was told to take it down by the end of the day, I did so. And the following few days, I just was so unsettled by it. And so I went back into my classroom and put it back up. And I emailed my principal and said, I don't agree. I don't agree that this is a personal opinion. I feel like this is the basis of public education.
And what was the response to that?
They came to talk to me and again asked me to take it down. And I said, I'm not interested in taking it down.
That's when the district higher-ups got involved. In an email exchange with Chief Academic Officer Marcus Myers, he highlighted the section of district policy he says Sarah Sines violated, including the advancement of individual beliefs and district facilities should be content neutral. But more specifically, Myers pointed to Idaho Code, the Dignity and Non-Discrimination in Public Education Act, which says district employees and students shall respect the dignity of others and acknowledge the right of others to express differing opinions.
And they're saying that putting up a poster that says everyone is welcome is a violation of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because everyone is welcome here, especially since the poster emphasizes in regards to skin color with the images of the hands, that is considered something that people have differing views on.
And the differing view would be racist?
I mean, I can't even wrap my head around what other differing view of it would be. I mean,
anyways, so you know the most offensive thing you can say, everyone is welcome here. How does that phrase make you feel?
Speechless. I don't know. Like, everyone is welcome here is offensive.
Yeah, so that's Ada County. Ada County is, I think, Boise, Idaho. I grew up in Idaho, and I don't know, the mentality there is kind of weird. It's a little bit of an isolated state. It's a state that really doesn't contribute very much at all to the national politics. They're kind of isolated, and they're very self-righteous in their condemnation of the left. They will jump on board to be super stupid because they think it's like causing liberal tears or something. During COVID, they didn't want to vaccinate or whatever. They weren't wearing face masks. I was there in Idaho during COVID, and it was nice. You know, you went to Washington, you put on your mask. In Idaho, you don't have to wear your mask. But the governor ordered all the hospitals to go on a do not resuscitate order.
Oh.
Because instead of using common sense, and of course, the right always wants to talk about common sense. But when it comes to common sense, you don't have any common sense. They were willing and ready to let people die to show how indoctrinated they were with the political dogma.
So they issued a do not resuscitate order to show the public, because they didn't wear masks, that happened to them?
No, so they do not resuscitate. So if you went to the hospital and you were coding...
Yeah, you would die.
Yeah, you're supposed to die.
Yeah.
That way they had more room available at the hospital.
Oh, so they have more room available.
Well, if people are dying when they code, yeah. If you have a bunch of people there taking up resources by needing help staying alive, which is what a hospital is for.
Was that their reasoning?
The reasoning was that they wanted to...
Reserves...
they wanted to resist...
resources that
they just wanted to resist the left. It was resisting the left. The left tells them that they should vaccinate and wear masks to prevent an outbreak of COVID.
No, but do not resuscitate doesn't have anything to do with the mask and vaccines.
At the time, it did.
Yeah? How come?
Because people had COVID and people were dying of COVID. People died from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, people were trying to figure out how to deal with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want to get into vaccines and things right now. But at the time, people were saying you should get vaccinated. You should wear masks. And because Joe Biden was president and he's a Democrat, the people in Idaho thought that the best thing they could do is to resist Biden. These same people, if Trump had stayed president, these same people would have loved getting vaccinated. They would have been first in line to get the Trump vaccine. But because Trump lost the election, they were rebelling by not wanting to do what Biden tells them to do. So in the event that people got so sick in Idaho that they had a crisis of people dying, they told the hospitals, do not resuscitate them. We would rather let our citizens die than to do anything nice to the left, which makes no fucking sense. The left, half the population is leftish. And it's such a fake concept, left or right. People have these fake values that live in these fake worlds where everyone is just one way. People are weird. There's a big spectrum of how weird people are. And these people are on that weird spectrum to be so obsessed with politics that they're willing to let people die because of their political obsession and stupidity.
They want to be right again.
Yeah.
That's the mindset. I want to be right.
Yeah, no, I think that they're also proud to be dumb. But let me just show you this, how much the world is upside down right now. So, Israel just nominated awarded Danielle Wise for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is the lady that...
the mother of illegal settlements?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Rosa
Founding
Parks...
mother.
chance whatsoever for establishing Palestinian
The Rosa Parks of Israel. Someone says, I watched your cast from the beginning saying about freedom. There is no freedom in the monster West world. In America now, there is no such thing called freedom. There is a delusion only. I would disagree. I mean, we're here right now speaking our minds. So right now...
We have more freedom than the rest of the world, but yeah, we don't have the same freedom that we're supposed to have. That's why we're fighting for it. Freedom was restricted during COVID times too. I know what she's talking about. Like, there's no such a thing as complete freedom or like absolute freedom.
Yeah. What's the next one? There is communist, evil Marxist mentality thinking. Look what happened to Representative like good Al Green, man from Texas State. We like Al Green. He is with us, with the Arabs and Rashida
Tlaib.
Yeah.
In the Congress.
This was someone that said something during Trump's State of the Union and they have him removed from the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, again... The only way to fight back against this stuff is to not be silent. You have to have a tsunami.
You gotta be loud.
You have to be loud. And this is the time for you to speak up.
In Arabic, we say, إن لم تكن ذئبا أكلتك الذئاب. That means if you're not a wolf, the wolves will eat you.
Yeah. I mean, I think this stuff is just going to backfire more than they know. In fact, Trump was trying to talk big to Iran because Israel told Trump that they don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And of course, Israel tells America everything that it should do, makes all of our foreign policy choices for us. In fact, I don't know how we tie our shoes and wipe our asses without Israel. But,
wash our asses now.
Wash, yeah. The bidets. But anyway, so Trump is basically telling Iran that they've got to do what he says or he's going to attack Iran. And now, because of that, Iran has the full blessing of China and Russia to develop a nuclear weapon. And those are two very advanced nuclear powers. So, I mean, very likely that they could be helping Iran with developing that weapon at this point. And there's not a fucking thing Trump can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think...
You know what? A few days ago, I watched a whistleblower from Iran who was in one of the parties in Iran, but now he left them. Anyway, he said no one can find the nuclear weapon in Iran. It's underground, under the mountains, a couple 100 meters.
Yeah, I don't think the United States could win a war against Iran. I think the United States could cause a lot of damage. But between Iran, Russia, and China, Iran, first of all, is a major missile-producing country. And a lot of that stuff is underground. They have Air Force bases underground, below where you can hit with bombs. And then you got to remember, too, like, most people don't know much about Iran's capabilities. But when Israel and Iran were kind of testing each other, going back and forth, Israel lobbed a bunch of missiles at Iran. Iran shot almost all of them down. Iran lobbed a bunch of missiles at Israel. Almost every single missile hit this target.
Yeah.
So Iran has a very unknown and a powerful and effective missile defense system that we don't quite know about.
That would make sense. That would make sense. You know why? As a Middle Eastern person, I'm talking from what I saw. When you see the Iranian people, they're not rich.
Yeah.
They're middle class to poor.
Okay.
Most of them. When you look at the people in the UAE and Qatar and Kuwait, they have all the villas and they're rich. That means the natural resources in Iran get used in a different place. They're not being given to the prosperity of the people.
They're also heavily sanctioned, so it's hard to have money coming in when you're heavily sanctioned.
Yeah, but when you got a lot of resources,
yeah,
you get a lot of money. And especially when they're not sanctioned by Russia and China, looks like they're friends. They're best friends, you know?
Besties.
Besties. So they're only sanctioned by the West. Yeah, babe, I think Iranians should be rich as fuck, but they're not. Where does that money go?
Yeah.
To develop
I think Iran
technology.
I think it would be great to see Iran have more civil rights, you know, to have women that aren't arrested for not wearing a hijab. But the idea of destabilizing Iran through a war is not going to make the lives of people in Iran better. Look at Libya. Libya is a failed state. Before the West decided to democratize Libya, to free Libya from Gaddafi, every married couple in Libya had free housing.
Yeah, Libya's rich Libyan citizens. I hear that from the Iraqis that went to Libya and work worked as a university professor. Libya used to hire people from Iraq and Egypt and India to come to Libya and teach in universities because they had a lack of staffing there. Anyway, when they went there, they saw that the Libyan citizens are really rich. They have nice houses, nice cars.
Yeah, a higher standard of living.
Yeah.
And now Libya is a failed state.
Yeah.
You know, now it looks like something from Star Wars, one of the outlaw planets where nobody goes except to buy slaves.
But, it's what I'm hearing from the people. I've heard from a Libyan citizen. I don't know how much that's true, but she told me it's beginning to grow right now.
And now look at Syria, too. The standard of living in Syria is much worse than it was before the West decided to try to intervene and destabilize Syria. And they're going to make sure that Syria stays destabilized. The genocide that's going on right now in Syria, there's a Western interest behind that.
Yeah.
Where do you think they get the bullets from? Where do you think they get the guns from? They're all wearing uniforms and they're well fed. Who's feeding them? Who's training them? These people don't just appear somewhere in a desert with some warlord that has all these guns in a bunker. This is coming from somewhere. It's coming from a country that can provide the weapons, that can provide the training, the food to feed an army. And the logistics.
But right now, the people are awake to this, too. People know that there is Western interest.
In Syria, it seems like it's mostly Turkey, the United States, and Israel that are pulling the strings of the genocide behind the curtains.
Say that again. I was not focused. Sorry.
Oh, it seems like what's going on in Syria right now,
Mhm.
Turkey,
Mhm.
United States, and Israel are the ones that are
Behind it.
directing the genocide.
Especially Israel. I think it's Israel.
I think it's actually Turkey.
And then Turkey and the United States are under Israel. But Israel is the big boss. Israel is the one who gives orders.
My impression was that it's mostly Turkey, but I don't know. And it may be different areas in Syria. I'm not real sure. You want to read some comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Neil Robe says, we don't have the freedom what we should have. Yes, if you silent today, you will suffer one day. So raise your voice. Yeah, don't be silent. Alhan Sama says, Representative Rashida Talib from Michigan State, Representative Al Green from Texas was kicked out of the hall. Oh, we already read that, right?
By far representatives like Macho Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, and Edmund says, how are you? We are good. Thank you. How are you? Western country behind them to support with weapon for their own interest. Yeah.
So it's not like
who benefits from destabilizing Syria?
Turkey and Israel.
There you go.
Yeah. Those are the countries that benefit, hands down. They both have a lot of interest in that, so they want to control the area. And then who doesn't benefit? Iran. So this is also a proxy war against Iran because Iran had a lot of weapon caches and logistics going through Syria, and now they don't have that access anymore. And so Iran, I'm sure, would want to get that back because there is a battle in the Middle East between Sunni and Shia. But that being said, it doesn't justify any of these things that are going on.
It's a stupid battle because it's a battle that, I want to be right. My religion is the righter religion than yours. Is
and you must die.
So I'm the right one. You're wrong. That's it. That's what they fight about. I'm right. You're wrong.
You know why my religion is the one true faith?
Why?
Because I feel it. I know it's true. I know that I'm right because I feel it.
No, you're wrong. My religion is the number one true faith.
How would you know?
Because God told me so.
Did God tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he told me.
God's not talking to me.
That means your religion is wrong. You got to follow my religion. Do you want to follow my religion or not? Say no.
No.
Let me kill you.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Moody guy. The cowboy Trump is a moody guy. He is narcissist, motor horror, foolish. He can't threat other great nations like Iran, China, and Russia or Egypt. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the Canadians right now would want to differ on that. He's making a lot of threats to Canada. It's just pretty crazy because Canada is literally like America's closest cousin.
Yeah. Shahad says, why don't you speak Arabic? Is this a live stream or is this recorded? This is a live stream. It's not recorded.
I don't speak Arabic. That's why.
That's why.
Yeah.
I wish you did.
Yeah.
He's learning, but we should get back to it.
Zoji la Arabi. Is that even close?
What did you say, Zoji?
Zoji la Arabi.
My husband know Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't say it that way.
Okay, but it's rudimentary, sort of, right?
Zoji la Arabi. No, you're not close. Like this doesn't mean something. It means my husband. No, Arabic. That's how it sounds.
Okay. Anywho. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have some more reels, or do we?
We could do some real
can
picks.
We wrap up?
Let's do some real picks real fast.
All right. Go ahead.
Hind Deer's weekly real picks. So dope, super duper, diggity, double dog, dope, third. Oh, mom, bruh, hob. Hind Deer.
Okay. So, let's see what reels we saw this week. I was almost like so depressed right now with what's going on in the news, watching my country fall apart, that it's hard to get excited about stuff. So a couple things. Let's see here. I thought this is like funny if you have like Muslim friends, especially if you're in the West with a Western perspective. But you tell me what you think of this one. I don't think it's super funny, but I think it's a little apropos because it's Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
Ramadan Muslims be like,
we're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I'm wearing a hijab this month.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I went to Islamic school and then got expelled.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I cut off my white boyfriend for 30 days.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I don't pray. I do yoga. It's the same thing.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I still drink water. Fasting is so easy.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course we only go to halal restaurants. Excuse me, can I get a vodka soda?
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course my imam is queer. His name is Imam Yasin.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I break my fast. With gossip. Did you hear about Miriam's sister?
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course I'm on my period.
Again?
It lasts 4 weeks.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course our body counts reset this month.
We're Ramadan Muslims. Of course we
woke up like this for your suhoor party.
okay, what do you think? Is that funny from a Muslim point of view?
I don't know if it's real. Like, we don't order vodka and
I think
what
that
else?
Vodka and soda, and your body count starts over each month.
I don't think that's real.
Okay.
Like, no.
All right.
They are Ramadan Muslim Americans. Maybe that's real for them.
This is a restaurant. I think it's in California. This is so weird because like, it's just weird to see this stuff in the West. I've seen several commercials from these guys, but check this out.
Yes, there's bacon on my burger. You're really gonna break your fast with bacon? Is it that haram?
Don't be silly, Mom. It's to be halal, of course.
You and your halal bacon.
Someone say bacon? Because I got an order for bacon cheese fries with extra bacon.
That would be for me, sir.
There you go. And a milkshake, right?
Can I get bacon on that?
Of course. Anything for the halal boy?
Halal bacon. I put it on everything.
I don't understand. Like, I don't.
I think they're making a commercial.
You know, they're making a commercial. They do this stuff. It's like a halal restaurant somewhere, but it's just kind of weird to see Americans doing this. I'm going to show you something really disgusting, okay?
Okay.
This is so gross. This is disturbing. This is where I really, really lose faith. This is where I really lose faith in humanity.
Okay, go ahead.
We are turning this semen sample into a gorgeous cum stone to be wire wrapped into a ring. Yes, clients send us their semen as a liquid. We do powderize it here. It's just the best way that I can ensure consistency when it comes to the powdering process. Because once the semen is a powder, of course, I incorporate it into the translucent clay that I sculpt these pieces from. So making sure I know how the sample is going to react with the clay throughout the whole process is super important. Of course, I did have a little bit left over, so I did a complimentary gummy bear for this order as well. Now, my client wanted a wire-wrapped ring with a twist border detailing. Once I got the band and the frame wire-wrapped, I sanded down the center bead and started wire-wrapping it into the piece as well. This turned out so pretty. I hope you absolutely love it. I do have some ring designs on my site for people who just order through there, but for a lot of rings, I do custom consults. That way we can design the piece together, or especially if people want something a little bit more unique. Anywho, I hope you love it, and thank you for coming along on this journey. It's been a blast.
It's fucking disgusting. That makes me want to vomit. Do you understand what they were doing?
She's making the semen into a ring?
Yeah, she's turning sperm into jewelry.
Why?
I don't know. Because she's a degenerate. I don't know. It's
That's weird.
Yeah, when people talk about degeneracy in the West, like this is probably a good example of that.
Yeah.
But it's not normal. That's why we're watching it, because it's so strange. But it's so gross. Like, it's just disgusting.
Abu Al-Mim just showed up. Salam
Hey.
alaikum. Alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Brandon, how are you, bro?
Good, man. How you doing?
And then Al-Han Sama says, we fast, we drink water only during the fasting hours. Why our beloved Muslims don't drink water in Ramadan? Water is not food and should be allowed during long fasting hours.
Don't you think drinking water during fasting?
She's talking on behalf of Christians, and I think she's talking about the Christian fast. They drink water. What was your question, babe?
I think drinking water is smart during Ramadan. I mean, I think that when you're trying to dispose of unhealthy waste from your body and you fast,
Water is healthy, yeah. But dry fasting is a thing too. You gotta look it up.
No, I know it's a thing.
It's healthy too.
Yeah.
Both types of fasting are healthy. We just chose the dry fasting. Our ancestors did, I think. The Muslims scientists should gather and discuss this thing, which is allowing drinking water during the long fasting hours. I don't mind the fasting. I don't mind it at all.
But no, I would agree with that. I think it would be way easier to drink water. It's crazy. Like, starving yourself is difficult on its own.
Yeah.
But then dehydrating yourself while you're starving, it's just not fun. Like, Ramadan is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people love it.
I understand, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And especially that there is evidence that dry fasting is beneficial. It has different health benefits than not dry fasting. They both are beneficial to the body, so I just don't mind it. Abu Mim says, miss you both. We miss you too.
Yeah, good to see you.
I need to cook my dolma.
Okay.
So I'm cooking dolma today for iftar. We're having iftar with family, and I'm so excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm encouraging my fellow Jewish cousins to not be silent about that and to speak up and to say that this is not us. This is not in our name. This is not going to be done in our name. This is not on my hands. And I have faith in you guys. And I think this justice will prevail, especially if every and each one of you take part in the justice process. You guys have the power to do that. You're Jewish, you're citizens, you can do it. If you believe in justice, don't be silent. And that's all I have to say for today's episode. What do you have to say?
Americans defend freedom. Defend what makes America great. The First Amendment is one of our most important rights. Without that, we disintegrate as a society, as a free society. And that's it. Maselama.
By the way, we forgot to put the episode topic in the description. I forgot to do that. Abu Al-Mim, I'm so sorry. It was about Mahmoud Khalil, but he's in the background. You should know that we're talking about him. Oh, here, Mahmoud Khalil.
Yeah.
Right here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching us. Abu Al-Mim was so excited that I'm cooking dolma for you. He's like, finally, you're cooking dolma for Brandon. I cooked it for him before. And
Yeah,
for
we eat dolma a lot.
For his grandma as well.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
And yeah, thank you guys for watching us. Thank you, Abu Al-Mim. Thank you, Al-Han Sama. And thank you, Nirob. These three were watching us since the beginning. I really appreciate it. We did not get any calls today, but hopefully we get some in the future. You guys can call us anytime. Our phone number is +1 614 332 2811. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Bye.